Hello, I am back with another video for my people, and today we are gonna talk about movies to heal your soul because I really believe they can. I um, I love watching movies. I cannot live without watching a good movie every once in a while. I think it is so important to watch movies in general. Like, um, whenever I feel like I need inspiration, I need expansion in my mind, because we all do, and especially artists, we we need that expansion and um, that urge to think away from what we already understand. And whenever I need that, I just rummage for a nice movie. I sort of look through all the platforms that I can find to watch that one movie that will give me something new to think about. Um, and also, I feel like movies that are based on true stories give you they give you a sort of a newfound respect and admiration for life, for doing the things that you want to do. A lot of the time, movies based on real life are based on an event that you wouldn't even think would have happened in reality, but it has. And when you watch this movie and then when you look at the real people behind the story, you realize that the world is not a mundane place. It is actually a very, very beautiful place, and there is so much that you can do no matter what somebody tells you or what you see on a news channel. There is good in the world, and you can create the good that you want to see in the world. And this is turning into a motivational speech like all of my other videos, but basically I decided to make a list of 10 movies, but I ended up making a list of, I think, 27 or 28 movies. I'm not gonna talk about all of them. I'm gonna pick and see which ones feel right for this video, and then I am going to talk about those. Funny thing is, I'm just starting another one. But yeah. So I'm a movie geek, and I love certain actors and actresses that I'm going to talk about, but I do not know some of these directors by name or some of the DOPs by name. But when I tell you that this is a great movie, it's not just because of the actors and the actresses. I think the director and the DOP and the people who do the set design or the costume and all of that, it's just as important. So all the movies that I talk about are like a package. It is a treat for the eyes. It's like beautiful lines. When you listen to those things that they're talking about in the movie or the subject that the movie is based on, you're going to want to think about certain things. And the visuals, the color, the way the shots have been taken, it will turn you into a movie geek, trust me. If you watch all the movies that I talk about today, there's no way you're going to be able to stop after that. So, let's get into it. By the way, don't judge me. I do drink my coffee in a wine glass. I know that's kind of weird, but it just feels nice, and it's cold coffee, so. I love coffee. I could make a whole video just about coffee. I really could. By the way, I just found this. This is one of the reasons I love Delhi. I found this store in Horse Khas where they have these old letters and things that they're just selling because, who wouldn't want to own something like this? It's so cool to just look at. Like, what is this? What? I don't even know what language this is, what time this is from. I think there should be a date here, right? It says 6th November and then there's a faded 20, but what is it? Is it 1920? Is it? Yeah. November 20. Which 20 though, guys? Social? More. If it's English, that is what is written here. It's I don't even know. It's a postcard. I have no idea, but it's so cool to look at. I even found stamps at this place, and they're so like pretty and like nostalgic and dainty. They're like tiny thin stamps and they feel old. Yeah, I'll make sure to show them to you guys in a future video, these stamps and stuff that I have, because I collect a lot of stuff. And anyway, we're off topic again. The first movie, I forgot the director's name, but it's a woman. She has beautiful short hair, and the way she directs her movies, I think it's the same director who directed Little Women. I'm not sure, so don't quote me, but I think it is the same director. Beautiful movie. There's Saoirse Ronan in it, and then there's Timothée Chalamet. And those two, I think whenever they're in a movie together, it is this beautiful movie, visually just amazing, because the color and the costumes, everything is going to make you think that you've seen it somewhere but you haven't. It's very different. The way the characters are, everything seems really, really mellow, but at the same time, there is this innocent, adolescent air about the movie, because it is sort of a coming of age sort of movie, but they made it in a really different, really realistic way, but also sort of romanticized it. Maybe, I don't know if that was the intention or not, but it's just the visuals are so pretty. I think I'm gonna add a few pictures, like screenshots of some scenes from the movie, so I can just show you what kind of color tone I'm talking about, because When I watched that movie, I just felt happy the entire time. I felt like I was consuming something that was filling my heart rather than numbing my brain, which is what a lot of media, social media, and a lot of random movies that are not particularly based on anything, that are just entertainment sort of do. I mean, personally, that is what it does to me. I feel like it's kind of numbing my brain. Like, if I have to be on social media for a bit because my work requires that, I just feel like, oof, need a break from this. So, but this movie made me feel like I'm consuming something mentally that I want to, and I'm just taking it in. And the moment I finished watching it, I just felt happy. And this is going to sound silly, but it just made me feel like just warm and happy. And I think because I'm a very emotional person, I take movies, like, I feel everything to my core. And when I watch a movie that's just, it's a good story, it's a good visual, it's a good script, it's making some sense. Making sense is one thing, but when a movie is kind of giving you something to think about and something beautiful to think about, or it's just giving you a story that now you know and you can just keep, that makes me very happy. That is, I think, what teenagers kind of like are, you know. They want this different identity for themselves, they want this uniqueness for themselves, and she portrays it so beautifully. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Oh, I love this one. I loved this movie, and I'm going to tell you just why that's the case. I am keeping the cast open here so that I don't mess up any names or any facts, because I would like to talk about how the cast engaged with the character. Okay. So the main character in this movie is Catherine, and the actress who is playing her is Daisy Edgar Jones. She has done a beautiful job. This movie feels like, it feels like the reality of a dream that I think many people have, of living in the forest. It feels like the reality of that dream. But instead of growing up and then moving to a forest, you live in the forest since you're a little kid. And basically, the kid gets abandoned by her family. She's left behind, and she does not want to leave her house, so she doesn't. And she turns into this girl who is just become like a part of the forest instead of like a human living in the forest. She's just there. She's just like, the forest is sort of comfortable with her being there. There is this silence about her that does not disrupt her surroundings. She has I think whoever did the costumes and stuff for this movie did a great job, because Catherine, the way she dresses is, it's not like a, like a tribal dressing sense or anything like that. She dresses in normal clothes that she sews for herself, I suppose, and then there are a few people in a town near the forest that help her out with stuff. But the clothes that she wears are very much in sync with her personality, and she has this very raw look about her, like her hair and her skin. Everything seems to complement who she is. And this movie is it's labeled as a thriller and a mystery. I don't know why. I mean, what I felt watching this movie doesn't exactly tie into this label of thriller mystery. It is mysterious. There are some parts that relate to the thriller label, but overall it gives you a sense of holding like a precious secret. Yeah, I loved this movie. When I watched this one, I just felt like looking for movies that would just continue this feeling that I had watching this one. They've also said that it's tragic, shocking, and suspenseful, but I think it is also beautiful, calming in some parts. Even though they show the reality of what it could be like living in a forest or how it turns out for this girl, there is this serenity about the whole movie. The visuals are something you'd want to paint, or something that looks like a painting even. She's living in the forest, but it's like this almost, I would not say tropical. It was not a tropical forest. It's there's a marsh basically, and they call her the marsh girl because she just lives there. She has a little boat and everything that her family left behind, and yeah, she's just this innocent human who does not want to be disturbed. Even if she feels like she's been abandoned or whatever, she's definitely maybe a little bit lonely. But then she knows that she will not find the peace that she finds in the forest anywhere else. I wanted to go live in a forest. And when I watched this movie, I wanted to go even more, even though most people who watch this movie would disagree with me. But I still want to go and live in a forest, in a little cabin that is all mine. And yeah. Anyways, loved this one. I'm not rating any of them because it's not fair. It's a piece of art. You don't rate paintings in a museum, so you don't exactly rate a movie. Just my view. But anyways, Mm, yeah, so that was Where the Crawdads Sing. I loved it. Definitely suggest watching it. And the next one is Love and Other Drugs. I loved this one. It was so beautiful. Um, Again, I'm gonna Google the cast, even though I know that Jake Gyllenhaal and Anne Hathaway are in it. Yeah, I mean, that's the main two people. But basically, it is labeled as a comedy romance from 2010. Again, I think there's a lot more than that to the movie. There is this sort of realism about the romance. There is this feeling of, I mean, when you watch it, you want to expect that what if everything goes right, you know? And so in real life, things don't always end up going right, but there's a bittersweetness about things, and this is the perfect movie to describe that. It's those moments that you hold on to. Yeah. Anne Hathaway is absolutely stunning in this movie. I loved how her character is a little bit spicy. um, she has a beautiful look. I loved her look in this movie. She has curly hair and everything. Her apartment is so freaking like it's the artist's dream. It is this studio apartment that has windows on one side and it's like this big open space. She has a bed in the middle of it and it just, oh, it's so beautiful. Like the interior designer in me or whatever feels like, oh my god, I wanna like go and design this place. It's so beautiful, and with the right furniture and with the right artwork, and it's gonna be it's gonna be so beautiful. And but this movie is like a, they've also labeled it as, in a nutshell, it's amusing, heartwarming and emotional, but it's also sort of like a feel good movie. I mean, this sort of movies make me feel good, so I would say that. um, it's a very it's the kind of movie where you're like, can this movie like go on a little longer? Can I watch it for just a little bit more? Yeah. And they've acted so well. Oh my god, the acting is so on point. There is nothing too much about it. It's very real. I mean, I guess all acting should look very real, but you'll get it when you see it. So yeah, that's that. um I loved it, definitely. It made the list. So anyways, the next one is The King. Now, this is a totally different genre, and this is from 2019. The cast, the main two that you look out for are Timothy Chalamet and Robert Pattinson. They are opposing each other. Um, this is about Henry V when he was younger and figuring out how to deal with this responsibility of becoming a king. I don't think this is based on real life. I think this is maybe inspired somewhere, but yeah, the retelling is not entirely accurate, and neither is the king. Okay. Mm-mm-mm. This movie talks about all the expectations and all the contradictions that come with a big responsibility, and what happens when you are trying to make everybody happy but also stand your own ground, and how difficult it can be to navigate whether everything you've been told is true or is it a lie, or what parts of it are true. Um, they've also said that in a nutshell, it's intense, gritty, and gripping. It's definitely gripping. It is definitely intense. Um, there is this little part that has Lily Rose Depp in it. My God, that woman. She does this little talk with Timothy in one of the scenes, and she is so intense. She is, I think the intense is all her. She's just, the role she has is a small part, but the impact it had on the overall, like the conclusion of the movie was everything. Like, that is where the story becomes complete. The color, costume, and visuals were insane. I think the visual, the way they have portrayed the whole movie is where the gritty part comes along. It's this cool sort of raw ambience in the whole movie that makes it very I think it definitely works with the time period that they were going for, but it also works with the story. And yeah, I'm not usually into war movies. This is labeled as a war drama, but this one was definitely worth watching because of its what it does to your brain and how it makes you think. Yeah, I think we're gonna do one more today because I don't want to make this video too long. And if I have to talk about even 10% of all the movies that I love, this is going to be a 3-part series. But which one do I want to talk about next? Okay, True Spirit. This is based on real life, and this movie, it's from 2023. It was the most fantastic, inspirational movie ever. This girl, it's based on true life, and there's this girl. Her name in reality was what? Jessica. Yeah, her name is Jessica. She sailed around some of the world's most remote oceans, surviving 7 knockdowns. Whoa. So she basically sails around the world, makes a circle around the world on a boat, gets knocked over 7 freaking times, sails in the middle of a storm. For 210 days, this girl was on a boat. And she's just this miraculous, crazy teenager. I think she was a teenager, or yeah, she's the youngest person to sail alone non-stop around the world. But how old was she? I don't know. Yeah, I think she was a teenager at the time. She was 16. She was 16. Oh my lord. This movie is not just amazing because of what she did, but also how they've shown the experience. Like, it was her dream to do this, right? But then the loneliness hits. She's alone on a boat for 210 days. And she's cut off from the world, and she did have some technology in there. I think she had a phone, like a satellite phone or something, but apart from that she had nothing, and she was on a sailboat. And in a nutshell, it's nail-biting, bold and wondrous. It's definitely wondrous. I would emphasize on the wondrous part, because you do think about, like, wow, like what an experience would that be? Not just physically, definitely mentally, but also like emotionally and introspectively. What is that? Like, when you're alone for that long of a time, there's nothing to distract you except for water all around, and you don't know, like, tomorrow a storm could hit and you could drown. And it's I watched it when it came out. Cannot, like, this movie is never gonna leave my brain. I've always thought about this movie every once in a while, and it's just so motivational. And you just start to think, like, if that was her dream and she went for it at 16, and I mean with minimal resources, if I have a dream, or if you have a dream, and it's not even that dangerous, like, why not just go for it, you know? I'm so mesmerized by this movie. They've also labeled it as adventure and sport, which is true, but again, I always think that these movies need like a more relatable tag, you know. Anyways, loved it. The way they have gone about telling this story is perfect. Visuals obviously great, but the acting, oh my god, I completely forgot to talk about that. Tegan Croft is the woman who is playing Jessica. Watson. That's the name in the movie. I don't know if her name is Watson in reality, but yeah. And her boat is pink. How cute is that? A 16-year-old living out her dream on a pink boat. I love it. Um, yeah, I suppose we will talk about the rest of my many movies in the future. I think I'll make them sort of into categories, because for this first one I just talked about whatever I wanted to talk about, and I know these are all different categories of movies, but in the future I think I will have to divide them into categories, because there are so many on here that I love. Like, there's Harry Potter series, of course, there is Edward Scissorhands, there is The Great Gatsby. There are some Hindi movies, Indian movies on here, like Photograph, The Three of Us. All these movies I love, and I think I'll make a separate video for all the Indian movies, and then I'll make a separate video for movies that are based on true life, because I really like those. And then maybe, I don't know, there are gonna be a lot of categories, honestly. But yeah, done for today.